To the show today, guys. Trump, I'm telling you, the pit bull Trump is signing orders left and right, and I'm so happy because now, by order of Trump in Congress, they have just passed a new bill in the House. Thank God. House passes bill blocking future presidents from banning oil drilling without congressional approval, guys. How amazing is this? We've been in an energy crisis. Things have been more expensive than they were supposed to be. But thankfully, Trump has now banned not only presidents, but people like the House leader, like Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, from doing anything having to do with our energy in the United States when it comes to drilling. Because Trump said, drill, baby, drill. On top of that, guys, this is amazing. The waste is so bad right now. And the whole border issues, the immigration crisis, we just figured out why. Why was it so important? The cartels, all this stuff. Fentanyl's financial grip on the U.S. skyrocketed to $2.7 trillion at the height of the Biden administration, a study has found. There was a big problem, guys, and I'm not saying that this was done on purpose. What I'm saying is that they allowed this huge influx of immigrants to come into the United States, which allowed the cartels to funnel in so much drugs, almost $3 trillion, everybody. That's almost as much money as we take in taxpayer revenue. Well, guess what? U.S. Attorney for D.C. Ed Martin has just declared and launched a full-scale investigation into the misuse of taxpayer funds and threats to the DOGE employees. He said, and I quote, "We will chase them to the end of the earth to hold them accountable. We will not rest or cease in this. No one is above the law." And I love it, guys. Right now, DOGE is doing a deep discovery into the Department of Education and has even hired security. You know why? Because congressmen and women are trying to go in to the Department of Education, trying to get things heated up. And we literally have the video showing you, guys, things are getting heated. The Democrats are trying to cover up their wasteful spending, and they're not having it. On top of that, guys, this is some of the best news I could ever say on this channel. Elon Musk is about to do the most amazing thing ever. Over 120 million people watch the Super Bowl each year. And the commercials are, of course, highlights, right? Well, Elon Musk is using $40 million of his own money to buy 5 30-second Super Bowl commercials to expose and show all the government waste that the Democrats have been doing so that over 120 million Americans can see the government waste, guys. We got a ton of breaking news to show you today. Thank you so much for your support, everybody. Want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button so I can take care of you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, guys, I really do appreciate it. We've already got some people making some big news. Mr. Norby said if we get 2,000 likes, he's going to donate $250 to TrueLife. Now remember, we take this money and we donate it to charity. So let's get to that 2,000 likes on stream, everybody. And want to say thank you to all of those that are members of the channel. If you want to be a member, the link is in the description to join. And if you don't mind, and thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. We're so grateful for your support, everybody. Let's get into this, guys. This is nuts. Trump is moving, the DOGE team is moving, and the Democrats are getting exposed. Check this out.
Donald Trump got elected in a shock election in 2016 nobody saw coming. The swamp has been making money for years in places like Ukraine and elsewhere. Biden and all his cronies. Trump looks into it. Trump gets impeached over it. How does that relate to what's going on? Michael Schellenberger, I'm going to play it again today because it's relevant. An investigative reporter found out that the predicate for the impeachment allegations against Donald Trump, because he was looking into Ukraine, may
right there
have had its genesis in USAID funding. I can't even describe to you the enormity of that. That you may have paid for regime change in the freaking United States. Bad enough we're doing it overseas. Trump exposed the Ukrainian piggy bank that Biden was profiting from.
Ooh, guys, this is huge.
If USAID money was used to start up and gin up media propaganda that was then used to file a complaint against Donald Trump and get him impeached, it's a huge story. That explains this. Cue up that Elizabeth Warren thing. Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, fake Indian Elizabeth Warren, is just one of many Democrats completely melting down and freaking out over Elon Musk, DOGE, and Trump now looking into the payment systems of the United States government because they don't want you to know where the money is going. They are panicking over you figuring out where your government is spending money because they don't want you to know it's being spent to censor you and to go against your electoral choices, especially if they're Donald Trump. Listen to Elizabeth Warren, you'll see what I mean.
And look, bless everybody who gets out there and makes a fortune. Bless everybody who gets up every day and goes to work.
You a lie.
But understand the underpinnings of all that are something we all invested in. And now we've got Donald Trump and his co-president, Elon Musk, and they're just running a wrecking ball through it.
Folks, she is speaking for the entire Democrat Party. Elon Musk was a hero for them when he built this electric car revolution they came to love. They turned on Elon Musk because his DOGE programmers and his DOGE geniuses are now inside the government for the first time in like forever, looking at where your taxpayer dollars are being spent. And now we find out that the collusion hoax, the Spygate thing, the impeachment hoax, and all of this may have been financed by some of the same payment systems Elon's looking into. Do you see why they're freaking out? Covering this money trail for years. They don't want Elon covering it because he's got the world's biggest megaphone on Twitter. And you are going to find out that all of the anti-Trump scandals, ladies and gentlemen, are being run by the same people. The same people. I want to play this again. I hate to do it to you 2 days in a row, but folks, yesterday's show went crazy, and I cannot let you go into the weekend without wrapping this baby up in a nice little gift wrap and putting it under your political Christmas tree, okay? Here was the segment that filled in a big piece of the puzzle to my Follow the Money investigation, the money that's been used to attack you and Donald Trump forever. Where the entire thing started. And it turns out Michael Schellenberger may have an answer, that USAID and your taxpayer dollars and payments may have been used to fund a media report that was actually propaganda used to get Donald Trump impeached as he started looking into Ukraine. Check this out.
You have this new piece on Substack that the USAID and the CIA helped orchestrate Trump's impeachment.
Yeah, I mean, just it's a crazy story. I mean, you might forget that, the House of Representatives impeached President Trump in December of 2019. Many people may not remember that it was a CIA analyst who was left over from the Obama White House who wrote the memo that led to the impeachment. It was all based on hearsay. The person had not actually been in the room with Trump. Nonetheless, this memo that he wrote relied heavily on a report done by an organization funded by USAID.
Folks, I had to play this again because this is such an insane story that explains everything that's gone on over basically the last 10 years, roughly. Donald Trump started entering around and sniffing around the presidential race in around 2015. And that's, by the way, my sources tell me that's roughly when the spying starts as well on Trump and a lot of the Republican candidates for president. What my source calls many of the Pied Piper candidates. I gave you the list a long time ago of the people that my source alleges were spied on. It wasn't just Donald Trump. But this is now 10 years explained in one simple segment on the Jesse Waters show. They are pissed off about Elon and USAID because they cannot have a paper trail of the regime change stuff they've been doing at home to destroy Donald Trump. And you paid for it. Some of you may have forgotten this. I played this on yesterday's radio show, but it's pivotal to put it together on a podcast where you can all put it together and see it, okay? Does this make sense now? Schellenberger and Jesse Waters last night in that segment. Schellenberger's reporting He's alleging that the whistleblower, which we believe is this guy, Eric Ciamarella, who is a Obama CIA holdover on the in the Trump National Security Team early in the White House, right? He's indicating that he may have gotten his information from media reports funded by USAID, who was paying money to Politico and elsewhere in other outlets, right? Ciamarella, if you read my book, you'll note that he was working with Biden on the Ukraine portfolio, where Biden and his family are making a ton of money in Ukraine. Obama knows all of this. He's warned about it. The media is desperately protecting Obama. They don't care about Biden. That's why they want to make this story go away.
Yep.
Badly.
Guys, let me tell you this. Things are coming out of the woodworks. Want to say thank you to everybody that's watching, guys. We got over 1,000 people watching. If you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. It really does help the channel. Remember, let's get to 2,000 likes. Mr. Tracy J. Norby is going to donate to the channel $250. Thank you so much, Mr. Norby, for the super chats. Let's go. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. So I'm telling you guys, this is all coming out. Where USAID money has been going. Look at the top bar. Ukraine, $16 billion. This is from Statista, everybody. This is all out there. You can go check this out. This is from foreignassistance.gov. It's available for everybody to see. Well, I want to show you this. I told you, they're getting serious about this. This right here is a letter to the U.S. Department of Justice from the U.S. attorney, from one of the U.S. attorneys who said, we are going to investigate, we will investigate them, and we will chase them to the end of the earth to hold them accountable. We will not rest or cease in this. No one should abuse American taxpayer dollars nor American taxpayer workers. No one is above the law. Edward Martin, U.S. attorney, is going after everybody. He has now declared, we are filing these lawsuits, we're doing these investigations, we're going after everybody to expose the corruption that DOGE is finding. And on top of that, guys, I'm telling you, the posts are real. This is what Trump posted this morning. USAID is driving the radical left crazy, and there's nothing they can do about it. Because the way in which the money has been spent, so much of it fraudulently, is totally unexplainable. The corruption is at levels rarely seen before. Close it down. Guys, this is the truth. We are seeing things coming out of the woodworks. The Democrats are shaking in their boots, and I love it because we are finally getting truth for the American people. Check this out.
That thing on the CR and the 14th is everything. You got to get that sorted first. Then you should be running around doing these reconciliations. And it's got to be 2 reconciliations. The reason it has to be 2 reconciliations, the ICE guys don't have any cash right now. Remember, we've hit the debt ceiling, so we're in extraordinary efforts on the debt ceiling right now. And there's cash around. You're not going to default on securities. But there's no additional cash out there. And ICE, this is why they're going to Gitmo. ICE needs some money to kind of build some infrastructure, get this thing rolling. We got 10 million to 12 million illegal alien invaders. Gotta go home. Mm-hmm. Secretary of State Rubio's cutting deals down in Central America with the frontline nations, but it needs some cash. So Brad, you've done this drill many times. Poke holes in my logic, sir, because I go to people and I say, tell me where I'm wrong, and they go, I get them. They're in the mumble tank. And then finally, Tom Massey with that MIT brain just puts it out there. Boom. What he said is a short tweet. Grace, if you can put it into the chat. And it's not that, Tom Massey doesn't support the president. This is not about supporting the president. It's not about supporting the president or not supporting the president. We're making a case that if nothing's done in President Trump's first year, you're going to have Joe Biden's budget. That's just a technical reality. So, Brad, punch holes in it.
Yeah, not many holes to punch. I mean, the only hole is the amount of revenues we're going to get out of the External Revenue Service. So I'm all in favor of going big, hard on China across the board and decoupling for many reasons. We got to be very smart and strategic on the order of all that with rare earth minerals, and I get all that. But my memory just goes back when I was in. It was first give us the House, then the Senate, then the White House. We got all 3, and then we didn't do anything because the House and the Senate were scared of losing members. And it's the same logic today. They're scared of losing a member or two. There needs to be just a tremendous gestalt shift, right? Or a Thomas Kuhnian revolution in psychology, which you're helping to bring about. You're going Old Testament today. Moses came down with his list of 10 and threw them down on the ground and wrecked God's word because he was so upset with the people. Right? And then you got John the Baptist, you got Churchill yelling out in the wilderness by himself. You've been yelling out in the wilderness, but you're having an amazing effect on this country. And so the budget numbers aren't going to do the trick. It's got to be a grassroots effort on the House, contacting your House and Senate members politically, and putting the fear of God in them, right? I think it's Proverbs. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And that's what we got to get straight. If you had 200 Thomas Masseys in the House conference, there wouldn't be any wars, there wouldn't be any 36 trillion debt, there wouldn't be any border invasion, et cetera. Right? And so that's we got to get 200 solid members.
So Warren Posse, we're not to the point of calling because we've got to work through a plan and think this through. I'm just laying it out there. And hey, what Dave Brett's saying, poke holes in my argument. I'm hopeful for external revenue. We actually came up with this concept here with John Gardner on War Room at the political talk. And I'm a huge believer in President Trump's strategy on this is brilliant, but you're 100% correct. I'm not sure it's going to be a ton of cash in the first year. Every time they talk to you about 4 trillion cuts and 5 trillion cuts and 7 trillion cuts and all this, they're talking 10 years because they have a statute that says you have to do things in 10 years. It's irrelevant. You can do it, it's fine. The only thing that matters, like in any restructuring, is this year and next year. Let's get through that first. You must take this apparatus apart and get down to what you actually need in a limited government to maximize liberty of the people, and also to perform some basic functions. I'm not saying it shouldn't be regulation or regulatory apparatus. Nobody's talking about that. But USAID, and this is why it's such a perfect one to start with, there's no good that comes out of it. This is all a slush fund. It's a CIA cutout. Plus, you've seen what it's done on funding the NGOs and invasion of the southern border and what it's done to suppress speech in this country. And now we're finding out Viktor Orban today announced he wants to see every penny USAID, the U.S. government, spent on funding these media companies in Hungary. They're going after him. This is what USAID did was outrageous. And it's a perfect example for us to focus on because for years, the not just House Freedom Caucus, but pro-liberty people in the House on the Republican side went after USAID, and it was backed up by the Paul Ryans that wouldn't even let people get in there and do audits, wouldn't even let people get in there and have any systematic or meaningful review. This is what you mean by controlled opposition. When I say, hey, we didn't get into this position by just radical Democrats running wild, of course they ran wild, but they were allowed to run wild by the controlled opposition Republicans who were too afraid to take the incoming and take the heat. They wanted to get invited to the cocktail parties in Georgetown and be called, like Mike Turner, when Mike Turner, from Dayton, Ohio, flipped when he took over the Intelligence Committee. Everybody up on Capitol Hill says you're a statesman, you're a big thinker, you're projecting American soft power abroad, all this nonsense for a CIA cutout that's doing nothing but damage and promoting the agenda of the American empire, of which we're not an empire. We're a revolutionary country. We were founded on a revolutionary idea. We wouldn't be part of an empire. And so for post-World War II, the hegemon, and particularly with the collapse of the Soviet Union under President Reagan, the evil empire, to become the hegemon under Bush 43, and then the thinking of the hegemon. This is how we gave total and complete power to the apartheid oligarchs in Silicon Valley who are now looking for a bailout.
Guys, let me tell you this. It's beautiful. And I wanted to show you this because it's super important. Right now, the Democrats are complaining that Elon's DOGE team has read access to just look at all the spending that's done in the Treasury. And there's even 2 Treasury officials that are literally overseeing them. Well, guess what? You remember what happened in December? When China, they're being facetious with this, guys. China was given remote access to all Treasury workstations. Knows whenever we got hacked by China and they hacked the Treasury in Janet Yellen's email and all her computers and stuff. This is what we're talking about. That we have so many things that have been broken down by the Democrats, by a lot of the deep state, and we haven't had the truth whatsoever. And then now, whenever people are trying to make sure that we have people being held accountable, that's whenever they're fighting us. Check this out. Which I do want to say real quick. Odell Lillian, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, I have nothing to say. I just want to challenge others to donate to this wonderful channel. Thank you, Joel, for giving money once a month to charity. 100%. Odell, we appreciate you. Y'all show Odell Lillian some love in the chat. I tell you guys, we want to be known for being a giving channel. Elon is paying $40 million of his own money to do 5 30-second Super Bowl commercials exposing government waste that DOGE has found. Over 120 million people watch the Super Bowl. Can you imagine how many Americans are going to see what the dang government has been doing? Finally, seeing in all the corruption, it is beautiful. And what is happening to the Democrats right now, guys? They are literally losing their minds right now, and they're starting to turn on each other. I love it. Check this out.
Democrats and the media held each other's hands for years. When Democrats needed a shoulder to cry on, legacy media was there for support. But now they're both hot messes. The head of Axios says liberal media has never been weaker.
For the first time in our the MAGA movement, podcast, X, how people get information, favors Republicans and really favors Trump. And so he has everything working for him in terms of his ability to do a lot fast and stretch the boundaries of what we're used to in terms of the power of the presidency.
And the Democrats are just downright toxic.
Why is the Democratic Party viewed as toxic by so many? Like, even people inside the party acknowledge that.
I think their primary currency was shaming and scolding and talking down to people and telling them, hey, I know better than you, or you're dopes, or you're a bro, or you're ignorant, or, don't you, how can you be this dumb? If you go to an extreme and you become a boutique kind of a proposition, then you're going to lose the argument.
How do Democrats win back white men like yourself?
I don't know, and truthfully, I'm not sure if that's possible, to be honest.
They're dying on the strangest hills too.
He's describing what is currently the dumbest strategy in politics, which is Democrats taking the 20% side of every 80-20 issue in America. USAID, people want this pared down. They want it streamlined. They want to know where the money is going. Democrats have a meltdown. Today, Donald Trump signs executive order on keeping boys out of girls' sports. Democrats take the 20 side of that issue as well. All these issues, this is like Trump's superpower, finding a bunch of 80-20 issues, getting on the 80, and everybody who's sort of reflexively against him gets on the 20. And now the Democratic Party has like a 31% approval rating. This is why.
It's a simple fix. All the left has to do is listen. But Democrats are defiant. They have no interest in getting it together. Not a book plug, but might as well be.
Thank you so much for your support, everybody. We literally got almost 1,600 people watching. Let's get to 2,000 likes. If you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button so we can get some Mr. Tracy J. Norby to help out with the charities. Let's go.
So instead, they keep latching onto identity politics.
It's not pocketbook issues. I don't want to interrupt you. I thought it was about eggs. Right. We're not talking about
it's not about
it. It's not about it. It was
eggs.
never about eggs.
Yeah.
It was about race. And if we're honest, if I see something, say something. We've been told that since we were kids. If you see something, say something. It's not about eggs.
It is.
It's not about. It's not. It's about making sure that there is white supremacy in this country.
What?
And if we're honest, we will say that.
Wow.
The left is miserable, which is why Americans voted them out. All they care about is victimology.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. Me, a black woman in this country. I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table,
Fine
right?
by me.
And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution
Probably
I
a
have
reason
worked
for
in.
that.
And it's not
Even
because
in the White House?
even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that? I don't think he worked for George W. or Trump.
Ooh.
Did that argument not convince you? AOC says you're a victim of a vast right-wing conspiracy.
it was really hard watching people and communities that I am aligned with fall for right-wing misinformation.
Yeah, that's not what happened. People just got tired of Democrats lying. So the whole party's in shambles, and Pelosi not helping. She's twisting the knife in the big guy's back. She says things would have been worse if Biden was at the top of the ticket.
Ooh.
Well, all I know is that we won a seat in the House. We did not lose any seats. You know, people were like, well, the Democrats lost. No, we did not. I think it would have been quite different with President Biden at the top of the ticket.
She still hasn't even talked to Joe or Jill.
Dang.
But she says she would coup him again for the children.
The former First Lady, Jill Biden, has spoken out saying she was disappointed in you. Is there any way to patch that up? Have you spoken to the
Well, I
former
certainly
president?
hope so. No, I haven't. But the fact is that we're all on a mission for the American people, for America's working families. My whole passion about being in politics is for the children. So what is it that we're doing for the children? I think that it would have been important for the children to not have Donald Trump be president of the United States.
Sorry, kids, Trump's back, and so is the golden age. The rest of the party should take that as a warning call. If you want to salvage whatever political careers you have left, scrap everything and start over. Howard Dean screamed it the best.
The Democrats need to have a complete reboot. They've been functioning inside the Beltway, and that's what their tendency is. The name Democrat has been branded really badly, and we don't run enough local candidates to unbrand it. We leave whole swaths of legislative seats unchallenged in red states. That is insane.
Guys, let me tell you this. It is insane what we are seeing right now. Watch this, look. USAID signs are being removed in D.C. as we speak, guys. This is beautiful. Odal Lillian, welcome to the fam. Let's go. And Deborah Myers, thank you so much for the super chat. Said, thank you for giving us the truth. May God bless you and your family. Deborah, God bless you. Y'all show Deborah and Odal some love in the chat, guys. This is amazing, everybody. Because guess who we're about to see some big things come from? We got Mr. Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson. Look at them hats. Guys, let me tell you this. I didn't know they came in that size. But obviously, things are getting so good with the White House that they ordered the 10X for these guys because they are doing some big things to make America great again. And I got to show you guys, we got some good news coming from our girl, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm not going to mess her name up, guys. I don't want y'all yelling at me in the comments. Check this out.
Well, I actually tried to defund USAID last year, about 7 months ago. I introduced an amendment when we were going through all of the government funding back in the summer, and only 80 of my Republican colleagues voted with me to defund USAID. Well, I think America has been in shock over the past week or even less than a week as the DOGE team and many others online have uncovered all the absurd things that American hard-earned tax dollars go funding USAID. It'll be interesting to see if my Republican colleagues have changed their mind on how they voted last summer. And after all the horrific things that USAID has been exposed for funding, things like transgender surgeries in foreign countries, things like, you name it, NGOs that undermine the Republican Party, all types of things. The BBC, even the BBC is funded by USAID. USAID is not funding for, things that Americans have hearts for, like just helping hungry children. USAID is hard-earned tax dollars, Americans' money, used to fund some of the worst things around the world, spreading social movements, the same thing George Soros funds, funding the illegal invasion of our southern border, funding private companies, if you can even imagine such a thing. And so USAID has been fully exposed, and it couldn't have happened at a better time. So I'm reintroducing the bill to completely abolish USAID. At $36 trillion in debt, Americans' hard-earned tax dollars don't need to go anywhere outside of America right now. It needs to stay right here at home, and we can make that giant cut in spending.
Absolutely. I think it's way overdue to be taking a closer look at where this funding is going. And I'm happy that you brought up DOGE as well. Your bill's introduction comes at the same time as Elon Musk's review of government bureaucracy under the Department of Government Efficiency, for which you are a chair of a subcommittee on this. Musk is no fan of USAID either. He's actually called it a criminal organization. So do you think it's fair to say that USAID's days are numbered?
Absolutely. The days are numbered. And serving as the chairwoman of the DOGE committee, we are lining up in sync with what DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, is working on. And so this only made sense. It was the right time to introduce this bill. And I hope to see strong Republican support in the House and in the Senate, because I know President Trump would definitely sign it into law.
Congresswoman, just to follow up really quickly, why do you think a lot of your Republican colleagues have not been behind this? Is it because we have this feeling that we have to give aid to foreign countries and it's our duty to do? What would be a reason for them not wanting to end it, knowing the corruption that's within it?
You know, Bo, if I had an answer to that question, I could solve all the problems here in Washington, D.C. I wish I could. It's probably a mix of all kinds of reasons. Some are probably innocent and some are extremely nefarious. After all, this is Congress and this is the swamp.
Ooh. Guys, I love it when they call it out. Why? Because it's what we're thinking, everybody. It's what we're thinking. Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chat. Let's go. He said, I lost the gifting to the membership. Somehow I'd like to donate later tonight. And I'd pray TrueLife News will help me make this happen, y'all. Let's go. We're going to try. We'll figure this out with you, brother. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. So, guys, they asked Trump about what's going on because we've got some huge news I'm about to show you. The DOGE team, literally, guys, they spend one day in some of these agencies and already have found hundreds of billions of taxpayer dollars of waste, guys. You cannot make this up. Listen to this.
Is Time Magazine still in business? I didn't even know that. Elon is doing a great job. He's finding tremendous fraud and corruption and waste. You see it with the USAID, but you're going to see it even more so with other agencies and other parts of government. He's got a staff that's fantastic. He's wanted to be able to do this for a long time, and everybody else knew it was existent, but I think never so much when you look at USAID. That's a fraud. The whole thing is a fraud. Very little being put to good use. Every single line that I look at in terms of events and transactions is either corrupt or ridiculous. And we're going to be doing that throughout government. And I think we're going to be very close to balancing budgets for the first time in many years. I think we're going to be very close to, in addition to monies coming in from tariffs, et cetera, et cetera. But no, he's doing a very good job. I'm very happy with him.
Guys, let me tell you this. If there wasn't, would you ever have imagined that Elon Musk would be one of the most crucial pieces in Trump literally eliminating government waste? Think about it. 3-4 years ago, you would have said heck to the no. But guess what? A lot of stuff's coming out, and I love it too because every pit bull is jumping on board, guys. This is beautiful. I want to say that, guys, thank you so much for your support. We got almost 2,000 people watching, guys. If you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, let's get to 2,000 likes, guys. We can do it on stream. Check this out.
Screaming to the high heavens about what the DOGE exploration team might find, what President Trump might do to spending, which he promised on the campaign trail. What are the Democrats afraid of, really?
Oh, look, I got to say, it really is something else to hear the weeping and gnashing of teeth coming from Democrats and coming from their acolytes in the media, because their cash cow is being threatened. Listen, under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, you saw the Democrats weaponize all of government. You saw them weaponize the Department of Justice and the FBI to target their political opponents, and you saw them weaponize billions of dollars of funding to pay off their political allies and to fund radical and extreme extreme partisan agendas. And President Trump came into office with a mandate from the American people, and he is quite rightly halting this spending, and the Democrats are absolutely losing their minds.
Senator, the Agency for International Development is kind of notorious in Washington as a place that doles out lots of money to consultants who never leave Washington. Not sure where the money goes, but is there any way to tell what percentage of it actually gets to a needy person overseas?
Well, we need to get to the bottom of that, and I think that's what the Trump administration is working to do. We know some of the egregious waste and spending we saw. So, for example, the Biden USAID spent $1.5 million for advancing DEI in Serbia. They spent $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala. They spent $6 million for tourism in Egypt. They spent $1 million to help disabled people in Tajikistan become climate leaders. They spent another $1 million for Hamas, a Hamas-linked charity, and they spent $15 million for contraceptives and condoms in Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. Now, if you're a left-wing radical activist, that's music to your ears, but if you're just an American taxpayer, that is horrifying, which is why President Trump has come in and said enough is enough. We're going to stop this nonsense.
This is what is so truly incredible, that President Trump, along with the DOGE team led by Elon Musk, come in and in about 2 weeks rip up what has been going on and USAID funding terrorism and coups and regime change and just ungodly, grotesque goulash around the globe. For 40 some odd years, it's been a problem. 2 weeks, we're done, Senator. We are done.
Well, and look, this was desperately needed under Joe Biden. I blocked one of the senior appointees to USAID because USAID was flowing money to Gaza that was going straight to Hamas, and they were doing everything they could to hide that. And we're not going to do that. We are not going to allow this to happen. And I got to say, it's really striking to see the reaction of Democrats and a lot of folks in the media where they have convinced themselves that Elon Musk is the devil. I like the title of your segment just a moment ago about DOGE derangement syndrome, because it really is that Elon is living rent-free in their brain, and I'm grateful that he is working round the clock to root this out and end it, and it's exactly what President Trump was elected to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Senator, along those lines, I understand you're not a doctor. I'm not going to ask you to make a precise diagnosis, but your colleague, Greg Casar, we were just discussing him earlier. He said after the election, he wanted them, I think, to tone down the volume, not be so preachy and disconnected. What's happened? Do you see him on the flights home? I mean, what's going on with this guy?
Look, they're losing their minds, and it's because I think many of the radical left, they believe they would be in power forever. It's why you saw for 4 years a lawless administration from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. They wanted to weaponize government, and their objective was to hold on to power, to punish their enemies and reward their friends, and they're suddenly seeing everything they counted on in jeopardy. And listen, I commend the president, I commend the cabinet leaders that have been nominated, that have been confirmed, for getting us back to the rule of law, getting us back to following United States law. And that's, I think, what millions of Texans, millions of Americans, that's exactly what we voted for.
Yes, sir. The new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, day one, returned to law and order. Speaking of the cabinet confirmations, that the markup of Kash Patel's nomination to run the FBI has been moved to February the 15th. This is the Democrat strategy, and this is at Democrats requested a delay. What other delay tactics are they up to? And just your reaction to that.
Well, listen, Democrats are going to obstruct, they're going to delay, they're doing it on practically every nomination. Now, what Republicans in the Senate have been doing is we've said, we're going to fight you, we're going to keep you here. If need be, we'll keep you here all night, we'll keep you here through the weekend. We're going to get these cabinet members confirmed. I believe Trump's entire cabinet will be confirmed. I think every one of them will be confirmed, and I think they'll all be confirmed within 30 days. And we've seen that when Republicans stand up to them and force them to stay late into the night or through the weekend, the Democrats cave and say, okay, we'll stop delaying and we'll expedite these. I'll tell you where we are right now. We are substantially ahead of the pace of cabinet confirmations for Joe Biden. We're also substantially ahead of the pace of cabinet confirmations for the first term of President Trump's term. And we're going to keep fighting until we get every one of these cabinet members confirmed.
Just really quickly, Senator, before we go, the Senate Republicans have a big meeting down in Florida. The House leadership was over at the White House for a long time today.
Yeah.
Any insight into what you, the Republicans in the Senate, discuss about particularly the tax bill, the first big steps legislatively that come out of your chamber?
So President Trump spent about 2 hours with Senate Republicans week before last. We'll be with him again tomorrow night at Mar-a-Lago. And the focus really is on delivering on our promises, that we have a mandate and we've got to deliver. Number one, we got to secure the border, and we are going to pass. So the president right now is enforcing the law. He is deporting illegal immigrants and criminals. Congress is going to follow up with the funding to build the wall and to make sure we have the resources to secure the border. But number two, we need to unleash American energy. We need to drive down costs. We need to rebuild our military. And we're going to extend the 2017 Trump tax cuts and get the economy roaring back because people want jobs. We want opportunity. And I'll tell you, the president is also ending the foreign wars that Joe Biden and the Democrats got us in.
Okay, so you like the tax cuts extension in that first bill?
So I actually think the better approach, that there's a debate between the House and Senate, whether we do one gigantic bill or whether we do two separate bills. The House Speaker thinks we should do one gigantic bill. The Speaker's a good friend of mine. He's a good man.
Yeah, he's right.
Virtually everyone in the Senate thinks it's a wiser strategy to do two bills because we can get a big victory early on, securing the border, unleashing energy, and rebuilding the military. That's what I expect the Senate to step forward next week to do and pass that and send it over to the House.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, this is big, guys. I think it needs to be a one and done. Just get it in there, get it done, and that way we can get Trump's agenda fully on par. Want to show you this, guys. Elon Musk is looking into the Medicare, Medicaid, has already found in just a day $100 billion of waste in taxpayer money. Chip Trap, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. He said it should be pretty clear by now why they cheated, prosecuted, and tried to kill the man before he could be reelected. Donald Trump, 100%. We are seeing why, guys, because there is so much fraud. You cannot make this up, guys. It is so just blatantly out there. And I want to bring the receipts, guys, and show you. This is from Pew Research. This is the USAID assistance that we've been giving out every single year since 2001. We've given almost $1 trillion, guys, of taxpayer money in the past 20 years that has gone to a lot of crazy stuff that most taxpayers would never have agreed to. Thank you so much, VT Girl 1969. Said thank you for your dedication and getting us the latest news in these exciting times. 100%. Y'all show VT Girl some love in the chat, as well as Glinda Cone for being a member for 4 months. Let's go. And want to say, guys, thank you so much for your support. We literally got we got 2,200 people watching, guys. If you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, let's hit 2,000 likes, guys. We can do it. It's free, and guys, it really helps the channel to grow. I want to show you this, guys. The deep state is real. The Wall Street Journal, the New York Times have acknowledged it, and now Trump and Musk are gutting it. Check this out.
The DOGE father's on the loose, and no federal job is safe. Their plan for the deep state, gut it all. Over 40,000 federal bureaucrats have already taken buyouts, and we're only in week 3.
We expect that number to increase, and that alone, just the 40,000, again, we expect it to increase. It's going to save the American people tens of millions of dollars, and we encourage federal workers in this city to accept the very generous offer. If they don't want to show up to the office, if they want to rip the American people off, then they're welcome to take this buyout, and we'll find highly competent individuals who want to fill these roles.
Elon and his nerd army have been combing through agencies blasting away bloat. 20-year-old dozers are clashing with lazy old-timers who don't know how to use a computer and are calling them idiots. And breaking news, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has just fired 90% of the administrators at USAID. They took a 10,000-man agency and streamlined it to 300 employees. The media is calling it the Trumpocalypse. CNN castoff Oliver Darcy says the American experiment is convulsing before our eyes. And he's flabbergasted that the media hasn't gone into round-the-clock special coverage. Quote, media executives need not fret about being the boy who cried wolf. The wolf is now in the barn and mauling the livestock. The Democrats in the media have never seen a president execute a mandate with speed and precision. The country voted for change, and we're watching representative government in the 21st century. The feds, they call that war.
Nobody wants to work in this type of condition where we're going to be in a psychological warfare for how long?
Other federal workers, not revealing their names because of concern over retribution, described to NBC News fear and panic, an Orwellian nightmare.
Federal workers are worried about payback and psychological warfare. How do you think the whole country's felt for the last 20 years? Having to tiptoe around DEI, hauled into HR for jokes, canceled for an opinion, watching Black Lives Matter light us on fire. A guy wearing a dress raped a girl in the girl's bathroom, and the girl's dad got arrested for raising his voice.
Wow.
A DEI bureaucrat at the Department of Justice making six figures who's going to get a buyout with an 8-month severance deal. They're not a victim. CNN's putting spot shadows on feds like their lives are in danger.
What is the general feeling across government amongst your fellow federal workers right now?
Grief. They're angry, many that are confused, but all kind of grieving in their own way.
How does it feel to be targeted for the work that you're so passionate about? It's okay, you could take your time.
It actually makes me proud of the people that I've worked with and the things that we've done.
CNN's spot shadowing a woman who's worked from home, and now she's crying because she doesn't want to go back to the office?
Wow, guys.
This is insane. CNN just laid off hundreds of employees to cut costs because their books aren't balanced because no one's watching them. No one's interviewing fired CNN staff, not even Don Lemon. Getting fired isn't a war crime. I've been fired 4 times. And thank God, because it turned out all right.
Yeah, I've been fired.
Since when has CNN cared about people losing their jobs? They didn't weep when Biden waxed the Keystone Pipeline workers. CNN's been trying to get everybody fired at Fox for years. If CNN doesn't like what you say, they call your boss, they call your advertisers, they try to bankrupt you and boycott you. Random Americans who crack jokes on Facebook. CNN was putting them on blast, trying to get him canceled. CNN cheered on Biden for firing Army officers who didn't get vaxxed. Guys who were willing to die for this country. CNN said, good, get them out of here. CNN's boss can lay off people. Why can't Trump? Bill Clinton fired almost 400,000 federal workers.
Whoa.
That wasn't a constitutional crisis. The government had to slim down. Bill and Newt cut the fat, balanced the budget. And Democrats are acting like we're witnessing a genocide.
Let me remind you who set the House on fire. It was y'all. It feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to castrate your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who is unelected.
Fire Elon Musk. Elon Musk took control of our country's financial nuclear codes.
House Republicans have allowed billionaire Elon Musk and his gang of thieves to enter the U.S. Treasury Department, fire the people entrusted with secret private information about Americans, and give them that access.
Elon Musk is destroying our federal government. He feels he bought himself a president.
Now we've got Donald Trump and his co-president Elon Musk, and they're just running a wrecking ball through it.
Democrats want to audit you for a $600 Venmo payment. But when Elon audits the trillion-dollar government, they're ready to storm the castle. Why are Democrats shocked? We're putting the government on a diet. Trump and Musk campaigned on it and won on it.
We're going to be very open.
Guys, just want to say this is hilarious. Thank you so much for your support. Glenda Cohn for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Glenda some love in the chat. Also, if you don't mind, guys, we got almost 2,300 people watching. If you don't mind clicking the thumbs up like button, it really does help out so much. Thank you for your support. Guys, Elon Musk just posted on X, I love @RealDonaldTrump as much as a straight man can love another man. Guys, this is hilarious what is happening. Do you love it or not?
And transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing. Here are the issues. This is the math for what's being spent and what, you know, and we're going to make it. We're going to make the spending lower. And if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country.
I will create a government efficiency commission tasked with conducting a complete financial and performance audit of the entire federal government and making recommendations for drastic reforms. As the first order of business, this commission will develop an action plan to totally eliminate fraud and improper payments within 6 months. This will save trillions of dollars, trillions.
Yes.
Democrats aren't surprised this is Trump's agenda. They're surprised he's able to execute it. Because after years of incompetence, no one thought anyone was capable of doing anything in Washington.
That's true.
Elon says there's a way to know when you're over the target.
One of the things I remember from the PayPal days was that, you know who complains the loudest is the fraudsters. Okay, so when somebody was trying to commit fraud to PayPal, where we would see the most amount of righteous indignation, like it would be like immediate over-the-top righteous indignation was from the fraudsters, not from honest people. Because honest people are like, oh, I think there's something wrong with my account. I wonder what's wrong. Let me inquire. But the fraudsters will come at you immediately. It's like a tell that someone's actually doing fraud, because the level of sort of faux outrage is way over the top.
Elon doesn't care about bad press. He's trying to save the republic. It's good cop, bad cop. Trump's the good cop. He's the bad cop.
We're catching them left and right. We're catching them. We're catching them to a point where they don't know what the heck is going on. They can't believe they're getting caught.
I love it.
And I have great respect for the people that are doing it. Elon Musk is helping us on it. And he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
The government's been robbing us blind. We've been writing checks, $6 million for tourism in Egypt. Like Egypt needs help with that. They have the pyramids.
That's true.
We should be spending money on cleaning up California so that tourists can vacation in California. $2 million to help the BBC value the diversity of Libyan society. We're bribing the BBC to cover Libya better? Why? $1 million for a gay group in Armenia. There it is. We paid $20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street.
What the heck? All right.
On behalf of Ambassador Cronin, it is an honor to welcome all of her guests to Deerfield tonight for this important event. Increasing access to opportunity and equity is a cornerstone of the Biden administration, and we're so proud to play a small part in that here.
This is a government theft ring. We spent $2 million for trans surgeries in Guatemala. I'm going to go out on a limb. One Guatemalan dude got breast implants. And we probably kicked back the rest of the cash to a crooked Guatemalan politician and the corrupt liberal CEO of the group they laundered the money through. Because all this money we're spending, we could have turned the whole world trans. We could have made every man a woman and every woman a man with this kind of money. Do you really think it costs $20 million to produce an episode of Sesame Street?
Nope.
You could hire Tom Cruise to play Oscar the Grouch for that money.
That is true.
Check this. Biden paid nearly $5 billion to unnamed foreign sources. Whoever's getting our money is so shady, our government can't even put it in writing. They just call it aid. I bet a lot of this money is to bribe foreign officials to win bids for American companies, or to bribe foreign politicians just to have in our pockets, or just to subsidize far-left foundations. Most of the people getting money from these grants aren't in the country. They pump it into overseas organizations, and then we never see them. Any liberal with it.
Guys, could you imagine, I'm sorry to interrupt, but could you ever imagine that at the bottom of one of the most prestigious news outlets in the United States, the title would be this is a government theft ring, a government agency? How crazy are the times that we're living in? Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. He said, what a bunch of Winnies. Oscar Mayer would love them. Here's for the likes for now. If it hits 2,000 likes, y'all get it tonight. The rest of my money. Let's go. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat.
International Women's Studies degree can launch a 501c3, apply for a government grant, and spin it off into a left-wing piggy bank. USAID paid $235 million to the National Democratic Institute. Okay, well, that sounds benign. No, millions of that money went to executive compensation, meaning salaries for all the liberals with no skills. I bet most of that money didn't go to supporting democracy. It went to supporting liberal lifestyles. Democrats have been sucking off the teat of government for decades, and Trump caught them. As one Trump insider says, you bring USAID to heel, and you end the Democrat gravy train. USAID is just the beginning.
Yes.
You start peeling back at the layers of every agency, and all you find out is pork that winds up in the wrong people's pockets.
The White Coat Waste Project exposed more than $10 million in taxpayer funds that were spent creating transgender mice, rats, and monkeys. The Biden-Harris administration spent $2.5 million taxpayer dollars, $2.5 million taxpayer dollars to study the fertility of transgender mice. We spent over $1 million to find out if female rats receiving testosterone therapy were more likely to overdose on a date rape drug.
One of those multi-million-dollar studies was at the University of Michigan. How much do you want to bet a Democrat wants to go to a game at Ann Arbor? Front row seats. Anyone from the Biden team wants to land at Ann Arbor? Here's an office, a campus, an apartment, and a no-show job with benefits. Government's fed the pigs so much it turned into a hog. You know what happens to hogs? They get slaughtered. And the American people love a good butcher.
This political party, the Democratic Party, have lied to us about everything. What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. Now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history.
100%.
Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff.
Golly, guys, it is insane. Now, I even got a little bit more good news to show you right here, guys. This is the U.S. Agency for International Development. Well, guess what? It's been shut down. And this is what was posted by the Department of Government Efficiency, unburdened by what has been. Had to bring out an old saying from our friend Kamala Harris. Also wanted to show you this too from the DOGE report. USAID spent $425,000 to help Indonesian coffee companies become more climate and gender friendly. Yes, $500,000, almost $500,000. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. Every day we're getting crazy, crazy news. Want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. Guys, we're so close. Let's hit that 2,000 likes, guys, on stream. Appreciate your support so much. Want to give some love to the members of our channel, guys. Y'all are so amazing. Guys, we have some amazing members. Want to give some love to those that give us a super chat. And I got something to show y'all real quick. Just one moment. Want to show some love to Mr. Tracy J. Norby, Odile Lillian, Deborah Myers, Chip Trap, VT Girl 1969, Glinda Cone. Y'all show them some love. And guys, I want to show you this too. One of our members of the channel they are artists, Woodbury Hill Studio. And they did an amazing, and they gave an amazing gift to the True Life News family. They did an amazing job, but I want to show you what they did. Check this out. They literally painted this. I'm going to put it back. I'm going to get it framed, but they painted, this is an oil painting, guys. Look how amazing this is. Such an iconic photo. We're going to put this thing back there, but want to show some love to Woodbury Hill Studio. They have an Instagram, guys. If you want to go check it out, at Woodbury Hill Studio on Instagram. Check them out, guys. Look how amazing that is. Guys, y'all are the best. I love y'all so much. We're growing this community, and it's just amazing to bring the truth to you all, and we couldn't do this without you guys. Appreciate y'all so much. We're here to serve you. Remember, Monday through Friday, 2 shows a day, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. We love you. We'll see you in the next one. Oh, real quick, 3 Live, welcome to the family. Let's go. Y'all show 3 Live some love in the chat. Love y'all. We'll see you in the next one.